because Gotham Girl goes even crazier in the issue of Batman issue 64, The Price of Justice, Part 3. So our story opens up with sort of a bit of a rundown from Claire, Gotham Girl, about the event that really led to her and Hank becoming superheroes, which was a pretty interesting moment. So, for those of you that don't know, that didn't read the I Am Gotham storyline, it turns out that one day Hank and his mom and dad had just left the movie theater. Claire was for some reason not there. I think she was sick. It doesn't matter. A mugger comes through, threatens to shoot them. You know, in a very this is how Bruce Wayne became Batman story. Batman was able to save the day and stop it. But Claire sort of rationalized, at least in her head, thinks that she could have been there. Maybe she could have helped, or that she could have also been brave. That's sort of, I think, what the story is trying to do, how Claire's mind is trying to process this. But then Claire reminds us that she's still crazy, and she talks about how, that was more Hank's origin story, that he was there on Crime Alley, was inspired by Batman, and she was inspired by hearing the story about being inspired by Batman, and she wants her own super story, her own origin story. Bitten by a radioactive gargoyle, or made from dark metal and blessed by the dark gods to be the greatest warrior on earth, something along those lines. And she feels that even as her use of powers is draining her life force, like, you know what, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it until I find the best origin story. Then we cut back to Batman and Flash, who are dealing with the Gothamlings, as I call them. And amidst all this, what's really happening is Flash trying to press the issue, did you send Gotham Girl to Sanctuary? And Batman doesn't really give an answer. He says, he swears, I have no idea how she got the mask or what her plan is. So, in other words, it's very easy to believe that Gotham Girl had never been to Sanctuary, especially if she doesn't know where the mask came from. If Batman doesn't know where she got the mask, then she probably wasn't in Sanctuary, or at least she wasn't behind what happened at Sanctuary. And I'm kind of wondering why this wasn't also part of Heroes in Crisis, Gotham Girl being a red herring. But anyway, Batman and Flash deal with the Gothamlings because, like Gotham and Gotham Girl, their powers are tied to the life force. You can just burn them out. So Batman hops on Flash's shoulders, and they run until they die. The Gothamlings. And for the most part, it sort of drives a further wedge between Batman and Flash, with Flash sort of blaming Batman for this still. Because, these Gothamlings, they're not like direct clones that were grown. They actually were people injected with this sort of super venom that they wanted to be heroes. And he says, this is your fault, Batman. Another mystery built by you that bites the rest of us. And, he claimed he plans for everything, but didn't plan for this. He didn't think about this. And it's clear the events of Sanctuary are still, again, what he's really talking about is, as Flash just leaves Batman on the island to go deal with Gotham Girl. Then we cut to the Central City Police Department, where Iris is getting ready to write an obituary for Wally. And it's interesting because she mentions that Wally's death hasn't been made public yet, which doesn't make sense because I could swear all the information was leaked about Heroes in Crisis. We also went to attend the funeral for Red Arrow, so I don't quite know how that works, that being kept secret. Or maybe at the very least that Wally West was the Flash, which also answers the question I had about Heroes in Crisis, which was if all the information was leaked, does that mean that people know that Bruce Wayne is Batman and Superman is Clark Kent? Our superhero identity is now made public because Batman takes his cowl off, and it's for a good minute there. But anyway, before my question gets answered, Gotham Girl shows up looking just as crazy with Flash right behind her. And, Gotham Girl is just as crazy. Still like, hey, Flash, you're pretty fast. I knew you were fast because you're the Flash. But, did you leave Batman back there? Not very heroic. And Barry tries to reach out to Claire. I get it. I lost someone recently. She's talking about Wally in this case. And that as much as he would like to blame Batman, he blames himself because he hoped his friend would get help. But instead, he sent him to Sanctuary. And he said, if I would have gotten a chance to speak to him again, I would tell him to stop following in his footsteps, that this life, it costs too much. And Claire posed a question would he have listened to you? And Barry says, no, he was a better hero than I'll ever be. And then mentioning the fact that, this won't bring your brother back. And Claire's like, what are you talking about? he's right here. Dun dun dun. And he looks all zombified, a little zombified and crazy. And Flash has to fight him. Luckily, or rather than unluckily, I guess, depending on who you ask, his body begins to give out and he sort of crumbles and dies. Claire breaks down, Claire cries, and Claire sort of realizes that, it was too late for him. Like, he's been dead for too long for this stuff, even though she was told that this would bring him back to life. So again, we're mentioning that benefactor, that person in the background, possibly still Bane. We don't know. And then Claire goes off to, lay the hurt on Flash, but Batman arrives just in time to stop, and he says again, "I'm sorry, I should have been there for you." And Claire goes, "Stop making it about you. This is my story, Batman, not yours. You need to learn you can't control everything. Not everything is about you." And Batman's like, "Doing what we do, living the life we live, is hard. Wanting to be a hero is very different than the reality of living this life. I should have showed you that, but I can still help you." Asking, like, "Where'd you get that stuff? Like, who gave you the serum?" And she's like, "Doesn't matter." She begins to inject some in her body. As Batman tries to stop her, it's like, "No, it's fine. I know it could kill me, but I'm not scared. Being a hero means living in pain, right? But it's also sacrifice. Wouldn't you do anything to be a hero, to avenge your loved ones?" And like, wouldn't the price be enough? As she then goes supersonic Super Saiyan mode, and that's how the comic ends. So, what was this? It was interesting, getting a bit into Claire's head. The mystery of exactly who's behind all this is still up in the air. Like, it's clearly possible that it's Bane, because Bane is the one who's also still in control of Gotham Girl, so it's not that much of a mystery. At the same time, though, figuring out how this fits within Heroes in Crisis is also weird, because trying to figure out exactly how everyone sort of finds time to investigate the mystery of Gotham Girl and do all their other stuff with Heroes in Crisis going on is a mystery. At the same time, though, I feel this is sort of like a meta commentary on the state of DC Comics in recent years, how it's been getting darker. There's not a lot of hope. A lot of things are just sort of dark for the sake of it. I think a lot of people look to something like Infinite Crisis for that. But anyway, I enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays off finally, which will be in the Flash issue 65. So with that in mind, let's bring this video to close here. Again, if you're new to the Bucket Think Tank, if you like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out my other videos on this channel. If you read this book, love to hear your thoughts on it. And I will catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching, and may your fandom serve you well.